are starting with the flow chart for this video because I want to just remind us where we are in the process. So we have finished Photoshop, we have our ping ready to go. We're going to be opening that up into Illustrator, specifically the template that I have provided for you. And then you're going to be adding your type. We're going to save it as an AI file, which is Adobe Illustrator, and then we're going to be saving it as a PDF with trim marks. And this is the very last step before we send it off to the printer. So inside of Illustrator, you have a template that's provided. The guidelines are set up just like Photoshop, even though they look different. You have a set of layers here that we'll go over that I made for you. And we're gonna just bring in our design. So I've got my guides locked. I'm gonna click on my design layer and I'm just gonna place my PNG, the one that I just made, onto my artboard. I'm gonna take it all the way to the edge, so make sure it goes all the way to the red. And here we have it placed down. I'm gonna lock that layer. And I'm going to go ahead and work on my text layer. It's so important to keep these organized because I want to be able to turn them on and off at different times, and I can do that if I have them organized. So I'm ready to lay down my text. So I'm going to open up my properties panel, grab my text tool real quick, and I'm going to find the text that I saved. So all saved Adobe fonts will be this cloud with a check. You can click on that and you should find all of the fonts that you have worked hard to save prior to this project. I would type the letter or at least the title of the book first while you're doing this, have it highlighted, come over here and sort through the different fonts. It gives you a chance to see what it's going to look like as you are selecting those fonts. And then you can start messing with the size. Now I'm going to choose to make my C a different size than the other letters. So I'm going to, and I want to manipulate it a little bit. So I'm going to leave it by itself and then I'm going to type the rest of the name. Some of these fonts only write in capitals. So because I don't want it to do that, I'm going to change my font. I want to have a capital letter and then I want the rest of them to be a lowercase. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with our C, and then I'm going to take another text box and do Charlie, but this time I'm going to make this smaller. Now I want you to have some fun with this font. You can mess with these letters by themselves. You can change some of the characteristics of them. You can do things like using the touch type tool. You can click on a word and pick out a single letter. If this tool is not on your toolbar, it will be here in the hidden toolbars, and you would just pick it up and drop it over on top of your text folder. You can also create outlines. So if you wanted to mess with the letters but you wanted to deal with anchor points, you would select and then you would go under type and create outlines. And what this does is with your direct selection tool, it allows you to move things individually, so you can be creative with changing the font and the style that you want. Okay, I'm actually okay with the way this looks, but I'm going to select both of these and group them together and move it up just a little bit. And then I'm going to think about color. So I really like this goldish color. And then I was thinking I could, for the stroke, give it an outline so it pops a little bit. You can also add drop shadows and things like that. There's effects here, just like in Photoshop. So if you wanted to add a drop shadow or a texture or something to the words, you could even warp your words. You can arch them, bulge them out if you wanted to. So there's a lot of choices of things that you can do. So don't feel like you have to stick with just what's given to you. Okay, I'm going to make sure this is at the top so it's definitely focused on visually. So this is my visual hierarchy, and then I'm going to grab my text tool again and I'm going to start at a smaller size. And this time I'm going to pick a fancy type of calligraphy. And I'm going to type in the author. And change the color. So let's think about the color that I want. I'm going to take this color, but I'm going to darken it a little bit, make it look a little bit different than the title, and of course make it bigger so it's legible. If you picked a font and it doesn't look good, go find another one. There's lots of them out there for you to choose. Okay. Once you're done, and this is my finished one from the other day, once you're done, you're going to go ahead and file, save as, save it as an Illustrator file. Then you're going to do a PDF. So you're going to save as, but this time you're going to change this to PDF and save. When you get to this menu, you have to go to Bleeds, Marks and Bleeds, and it's going to put the bleed on there for you. So we're going to do, don't change anything. Don't change any of the settings. Leave that alone, and then click Save. When you have a PDF, you will have something that looks like this. And this is what is going to get sent to the printer. So those trim marks that we just turned on in Illustrator, that's these. This is going to be where the cutter is going to actually come down onto your bookmark. So your bookmark will be 2.5 by 5 inches when you're all done. You can turn this in on Canvas, and this is going to be your final project. I will then give this to the printer, and we'll have them all printed for us.